And then, after 5 minutes of silence, almost inaudibly, the old man sighed and said, more to himself than to Artie, Lord, what a splendid world we've ruined. A heavy silence hung in the tent. Benichka, lulled by their quiet conversation, was sleeping, with his mouth slightly open and snuffling quietly, sometimes whining a little, like a dog. Mikhail Porfirovich didn't say another word, and though Artyom was sure that he wasn't yet sleeping, he didn't want to disturb him, so he closed his eyes and tried to fall asleep. He was thinking that after everything that had happened to him over the course of the endless day, sleep would come instantly. But time stretched out slowly. The mattress, which had seemed so soft not long ago, now seemed lumpy, and he had to turn over many times before he could find a comfortable position. The old man's sad words were knocking around in his ears. No, I don't think so. There will be no return to the sparkling avenues, the grandiose architectural constructions, the light, refreshing breezes of a warm summer evening, running through your hair and caressing your face. No more sky. It will never be like the old man described again. Now the sky was receding upwards, enmeshed in the decaying wires of the tunnel ceilings, and so it would remain forever. But before it was, what did he say? Azure, clear, the sky was strange, just like the one that Artyom saw at the Botanical Gardens that time, covered in stars, but instead of being velvet blue, it was light blue, shimmering, joyful, and the buildings were really enormous, but they didn't press down with their mass. No, they were light, easy, as though they were woven out of sweet air. They soared, almost leaving the earth, their contours washed in the endless height of the sky. And how many people there were! Artyom had never seen so many people at once, only perhaps at Kitaï-Garad. But here there were even more of them. The space in between of these great buildings was full of people. They scurried around, and there were a great deal of children among them. They were eating something, probably real ice cream. Artyom had even wanted to ask one of them if he could try some. He'd never eaten real ice cream. When he was little, he'd really wanted to try some, but there had been nowhere to get any. The confectionery factory had long since produced only mold and rats in mold. these little children, licking the delicacy, were running away from him and laughing, deftly dodging him, and he didn't even get the chance to look into any of their faces. Artyom didn't know anymore what he was trying to do. Take a bite of ice cream or just look one of the children in the face to understand if the children did actually have faces, and he got scared. The light outlines of the buildings started to slowly darken, and after some time, they were hanging over him, threatening, and then they started to move closer and closer. Artyom was still chasing the children, and it seemed to him that the children weren't laughing joyfully, but evilly. And then he gathered all his strength and grabbed one of the little boys by the sleeve. The boy pulled away, scratched him like a big devil, but squeezing the boy's throat with an iron grip, Artyom managed to look him in the face. It was Vanechka, roaring and baring his teeth. He shook his head and tried to seize Artyom's hand. In panic, Artyom flung him away, and the boy jumped up from his knees, suddenly lifted his head, and let out some terrible howl, which made Artyom run back to BDNKH. And the children randomly rushing around started to slow down, and slowly to look at him from the side, getting closer, and the black, bulky buildings towered right over them, drawing closer. And the children were filling the decreasing spaces between the buildings, and they took up Vanechka's struggle, full of savage malice and icy sadness, and finally they turned to Artyom. They didn't have faces, only black leather masks with mouths painted on them. The eyes without whites were pupils. And suddenly there was a voice that Artyom couldn't place. It was quiet, and the vicious battle was drowning it. But the voice repeated itself insistently, listening closely, trying not to pay attention to the children, who were getting closer and closer. Artyom finally figured out what it was saying. You have to go. And it said it again and again. Artyom recognized the voice. It was Hunter's. He opened his eyes and threw off his covers. It was dark and tent, very muggy. His head was filled with lead weight. His thoughts turned over lazily and heavily. Artyom couldn't seem to come to his senses to figure out how long he'd slept, and whether it was time to get up and get on the road, or whether he should just turn over and try to have a better drink. Then the tent flaps were pulled aside, and through it poked the head of the border guard who had let them into Kuznetsov's. Konstantin. What was his second name? Mikhail Porfirovich. Mikhail Porfirovich. Get up now, Mikhail Porfirovich. Has he died or what? Not paying any attention to Artyom, who was staring at him in fright, he climbed into the tent and started to shake the sleepy old man. Benichka woke up first and started to bellow badly. The guard didn't pay him any attention, and when Benichka tried to pull on his arm, he boxed him in the ear, and then the old man woke up. Mikhail Porfirovich, get up quickly, the border guard whispered urgently. You have to go. The Reds are asking for you to be handed over as a slanderer and enemy propagandist. I've been telling you, while you're here, while you're at our lousy station, don't start with your university talk. Did you listen to me? Please, Konstantin Alexeyevich, what is all this? The old man's head turned in confusion, rising from his coat. I didn't say anything. No propaganda. Perish the thought. I was only telling the young man about it, but very quietly. There were no witnesses. Well, take the young man with you. You know what kind of station this is. In Lublayanka, they'll gut you and string you up on a stick. And your friend here will be put against the wall straight away so that he doesn't go talking again. Come on, be quick. Why are you hanging around? They're coming for you right now. They're just conferring for a moment to decide what to ask the Reds for in exchange. So hurry up. Artyom stood up and had his rucksack on his back. He didn't know whether to get out his weapon or not. The old man was also fussing, but a minute later, they were already on the road, walking quickly, whereupon Konstantin Alexeyevich himself pressed a hand over Benichka's mouth with a martyred expression, and the old man looked over at him anxiously, afraid that the frontier guard might twist the boy's neck. The tunnel leading to Pushkinskaya was better defended than the other had been. Here they passed two cordons at 100 and 200 meters from the entrance. At the first one, there was concrete reinforcements, a parapet that cut across the way and forced people along a narrow path by the wall. And to the left, it was a telephone, and its wires led right into the center of the station, probably to the headquarters. At the second cordon, there were the usual sandbags, the machine gun, and the searchlights, like at the other side. There were duty officers at both posts, but Konstantin Alexeyevich led them through both cordons to the border. Let's go. I'll walk with you for 5 minutes. I'm afraid that you can't come here again, Miguel Porfirovich, he said as they walked slowly towards Pushkinskaya. They haven't yet forgiven you for your old sins, and you've done it again. I heard that Comrade Mustvik is personally interested. You hear? Well, okay. We'll try to think of something. Be careful as you go through Pushkinskaya, he said, as they carried on through the darkness. Go through it quickly. We're afraid of them, you see, so be off and be well. Meanwhile, there was nowhere to rush to, so the fugitives shortened their stride. What made them so bitter about you? Artyom asked curiously, looking over at the old man. Well, you see, I just disliked them very much. And when the war was on, well, basically, you see, my little circle put together some texts. And Artyom Petrovich, he then lived at Pushkinskaya and had access to a typographic press. There was a press at Pushkinskaya where some madmen were printing news, and that's where he printed it. But the Reds' border looks harmless. There's 2 people there. There's a flag hanging. There's no reinforcements. Nothing like Bahansa has, Artyom suddenly remembered. Of course, from this side everything is harmless because their main force is on the inside, not the outside, Mikhail Porfirovich smiled maliciously. That's where the reinforcements are. On the borders, it's just decoration. They went on in silence, each thinking their private thoughts. Artyom was listening to his sensations about the tunnel. It was a strange business, but this tunnel, and also the one that led from Kitay-Gorod to Kuznetsky, most were both empty, and you didn't feel anything inside them. They weren't filled with anything. They were just soulless constructions. Then he remembered the nightmare he had just had. The details of it had already been wiped from his memory, and all that was left was vague, frightening memories of faceless children and black masses against the sky. But there was the voice. He couldn't follow the thought to its end. In front of him he heard the familiar awful squeaking and the rustling of paws, and then there was the suffocating, sweetish smell of rotting flesh. And when the weak light of their torches reached the place where these sounds were coming from, they saw in front of their eyes such a scene that Artyom thought it might perhaps be preferable to return to the Reds. At the wall, face down in a row, lay 3 swollen bodies, their heads tied behind their back, their hands tied behind their backs with wire. They had already been gnawed at by the rats. Pressing his jacket's sleeve to his nose so that he would smell the heavy, sweetish, and poisonous air, Artyom bent down over the bodies and shined his light at them. They were stripped of their underwear and their bodies showed no evidence of injury, but the hair on each of their heads was stuck together with blood, especially thickly around the black dot of the bullet hole. In the back of the head, Artyom pointed out, trying to make his voice sound calm and feeling that he might suddenly vomit. Mikhail Porfirovich half opened his mouth, and his eyes began to shine. What they do, my God, what they do, he said, sighing. Benichka didn't look. Don't look, come here. Benichka, don't look, come here. But Benichka, without showing the slightest unease, hunkered down next to the nearest corpse and began to point a finger at it, bellowing animatedly. The torch's beam slipped up the wall, and it lit up a piece of dirty paper, which was stuck right above the corpses at eye level. Above it, the letters Theater Reich were painted, accompanied by a depiction of an eagle. It went on in Russian. Not once were the animals allowed within 300 meters of the Great Reich, and the same. No through way sign was also depicted with its circular black outline and a little man crossed out. Swine, Artyom said through clenched teeth, because they have different colored hair. The old man just shook his head sadly and pulled on Benichka's collar. He was busy studying the bodies and did not want to be lifted up from his squatting position. I see that our typographic machine still works, Mikhail Porfirovich said sadly. Then he moved on. The travelers went on more slowly. After 2 minutes, they saw the words 300 meters had been painted on the walls in red paint. 300 meters to go, Artyom said, listening uneasily to the echoes of a dog's barking in the distance. And 100 meters from the station, they were struck by a bright light and they stopped. Hands above your heads, stand still, a voice roared through the loudspeaker. Artyom obediently put his hands at the back of his head, and Mikhail Porfirovich thrust both of his hands into the air. I said, "Everyone, hands up. Walk slowly forward. Don't make any sudden movements." The strained voice continued, and Artyom couldn't look to see who was speaking because the light was beating right into his eyes, and it was too painful to do anything but look down. Walking with small steps for some distance, they again stood still when they were told, and the searchlight was finally turned to the side. There was a whole barricade erected there. There were 2 machine gunners in position, and another guy with a holster in his belt. And they were all dressed in camouflage with black berets, black berets aslant on their shaved heads. They had white armbands with something looking like a German swastika on them, but with 3 points, not 4. There were some barely visible dark figures in the distance. There was a nervous, fidgeting dog by their feet. The surrounding walls were painted with crosses, eagles, slogans, and curses aimed at non-Russians. They puzzled Artyom somewhat because they were partly in German. In a visible place underneath a panel with the silhouette of an eagle on it and a 3-pronged swastika, there was that sign again, lit from underneath, and one of the unfortunate little black figures, and one with the unfortunate little black figure, and Artyom thought that it was being displayed like some sort of religious icon for them. One of the guards made a step forward and lit a long torch, holding it at head level. He slowly walked around the 3 of them, steadily looking into their eyes, apparently trying to find some evidence of non-Slavic features. However, they all looked Russian, and he turned his torch away and shrugged his shoulders disappointed. "Documents," he demanded. Artyom readily extended his passport. Mikhail Porfirovich rummaged in his pocket and finally found his. "Where are your documents for this one?" the older guard asked, nodding at Vanitska in disgust. "You see, the thing is that the boy," the old man started to explain. "Silence! You will address me as officer. Answer the question precisely." The document checker barked at him, and his torch jumped around in his hands. "Officer, you see, the boy is sick. He doesn't have a passport. He's just little, you see. But, look, he's assigned to me. Here, I'll show you. Mikhail Porfirovich began to babble, looking at the officer ingratiatingly, trying to find a spark of sympathy in his eyes, but the man stood still, straight and stiff, like a rock, and his face was like stone, and Artyom again felt that he wanted to kill someone. "Where is the photograph?" the officer spat, having flipped through pages. The Nichka who had been standing quietly until that point, tensely watched the dog's silhouette and enthusiastically gurgling from time to time, now turned to the document checker and, to Artyom's horror, he bared his teeth and hooted meaningly. Artyom was suddenly so scared for him that he forgot his own hostility towards the man, his desire to kick him good and properly. Document checker took an inventory step. The document checker took an involuntary step backwards, staring at Vanichka unkindly, and said, "Get rid of this immediately, or I'll do it myself." "Please forgive him, officer. He didn't understand what he was doing." Artyom was surprised to hear his own voice pronounced. Mikhail Porfirovich looked at him with gratitude, and the document checker quickly rustled through Artyom's passport and returned it to him, saying coldly, "No questions for you. You can pass." Artyom made a few steps forward and froze, feeling that his legs wouldn't obey him. The officer turned away from him and repeated his question to the other two about the photograph. "You see, the thing is," Mikhail Porfirovich started, and stumbling, he added, "The officer, the thing is that there's no photograph where we live, and it costs a lot to get them at other stations, and I just don't have the money to get a picture." "Take off your clothes," the man interrupted him. "I'm sorry, Mikhail Porfiriovich's voice quivered, and his legs started to tremble. Artyom took off his rucksack and put it on the floor, not thinking at all about what he was doing. There are some things that you don't want to do, and you pledge to yourself that you won't do. You forbid yourself, and then suddenly they happen all by themselves. You don't even have time to think about them, and they do make it to the cognitive centers of the brain. They just happen, and that's it. And they don't make it to the cognitive centers of the brain. They just happen, and that's it. You're left just watching yourself with surprise and convincing yourself that it wasn't your fault. It just happened all by itself. If they undressed them and led them like the others to the 300th meter, Artyom would get his machine gun out of his rucksack, would switch it to automatic fire, and would take out as many of these camouflaged non-humans as he could, till they shot him down. Nothing else made any sense. It was important that he had only known It wasn't important that he had only known Mikhail and Vanichka for a day. It wasn't important that they would kill him. What would happen to BD and KH? There was no point in thinking what would happen afterwards. There are things that is just simpler not to think about. Undressed, the man articulated carefully, repeating himself. A search. But if you please, Mikhail Porfirovich uttered indistinctly. Silence, the man barked. Quickly! And he reinforced his words with a gesture by taking his gun out of its holster. The old man started to unbutton his jacket hastily, and the document checker turned his pistol away and silently watched how the old man threw off his jersey, clumsily hopping on one foot to take off his boots, and swaying, trying to undo his belt buckle. Faster, the officer hissed rapidly. I'm clumsy, you see, Mikhail Porfirovich started, but the document checker had finally had enough and smacked the old man in the teeth. Artyom rushed forward, but two strong arms grabbed him from behind, and, as much as he tried to extract himself from them, it was useless. And then something unforeseeable happened. Vanichka, who was above half the size of the thug in the black beret, suddenly bared his teeth, and with an animal roar, he rushed at him. The man didn't expect such speed from the wretched boy, and Vanichka managed to grab his left hand, and even to hit him in the chest. However, a second later, the officer recovered and flung Vanichka off, took a step backwards, held out his hand holding the pistol, and pulled the trigger. The shot, amplified by its echo in the tunnel, resounded in their ears, but Artyom thought he could still hear how Vanichka sobbed silently and sat down on the floor. He was leaning over, clutching both hands to his stomach, when the officer kicked him, and with a disgusting expression on his face, pulled the trigger again, aimed at the head. I warn you, he threw a cold look at Mikhail Porfirovich, who was frozen in place, looking at Vanichka with his jaw dropped and rattling sounds coming from his chest. At that moment, everything went dark in front of Artyom's eyes, and he felt such strength inside of him that the soldiers holding him from behind almost fell to the floor when he rushed forward. Time stretched for Artyom, and he had enough of it to seize the handle of his machine gun, and clicking the safety lock, he fired a round right through the rucksack into the breast of the officer. He noticed with satisfaction the black line of dots on the grain of the camouflage.